When Morgan asked me to be a part of Project Blue Sky, I was immediately honored and excited and thrilled and absolutely petrified at the same time. But that's exactly how I felt after the first reading of Heterophobia. Bringing stereotypes and phobias to light is a very delicate thing. It requires a lot of courage. It's very challenging, and that's why it needs to be done, and that's why I was part of Heterophobia. I brought every homophobic friend, family member, acquaintance, everybody that I knew, I invited them to that show. And my hope was, and my wish then, and it still is now, is that people walk away changed. All it takes is one person. It takes one person to speak up, to make a change in the people's lives around them, one person to cause a ripple effect. Be the change you wish to see in the world. And I wrote it on my hand so I wouldn't forget.
From the time that I was young, there was always this idea that it wasn't okay to be Christian and to be gay, or it wasn't okay to be different. Really, the box was pretty small in terms of what was appropriate. I had a friend, a very good friend, who was in my youth group. He was 16 when I met him. I was 15, and he was gorgeous, if you can imagine. And we were very close. And one day he called me up and he said to me that he had something that he wanted to tell me. He'd had a secret, but he'd been to see the youth pastor and they'd prayed, so he knew everything was going to be okay now. And he said that he had been gay. He because his parents were really strong Christians who didn't accept at all that he could possibly be gay, and he didn't tell them for the longest time. And when he did, they didn't accept it. I mean, he's 50 years old now, and his brother is still trying to set him up with the girls from his church. It just, to me, became a horrible thing that he had this self-loathing and that he felt like he had to hide who he was to be acceptable to his parents or to the church. Ultimately, he left the church completely because there was no place for him. And I decided if there wasn't a place for him in that environment, there wasn't a place for me either. I began to search out a more progressive understanding of God and of the people of God and who was included in that, and came to an understanding through reading a lot of progressive thinkers that what I had been told when I was young wasn't right, that God embraces all people, that beauty is everywhere, that loving relationships between people are always sacred. And I decided that I would no longer be part of a church that did not accept gay people, gay, lesbian, bisexual, transgendered, whatever, that if they did not accept them as beautiful creatures of God and welcome them to live their lives fully, that I wasn't going to be a part of that church.
My name's Whitney Richter, and I'm straight.
My name's Joanne Anquist, and I am straight.